The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I need fun. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Now here's what I mean. See, after the Civil War in 1865, when we were emancipated, we were supposed to get 40 acres and a mule. That's true. I said that is true. That's not a figment. That is actually what was going to happen. It was documented and written down. And then they killed Abraham Lincoln. And your next president that came up vetoed the idea, and we were emancipated with nothing. See, somehow they innately know that. And they know that if we ever let these black people get equality, that they will take over. They will be on the top of everything. And watch this, watch this. Every place they have let us in, we rose to the top. Every place. Every place. And I knew this, what I'm getting ready to tell you, I knew this in my mind, but over the holidays, I had an opportunity to put it into operation. I think everybody in America knows about the game called Monopoly. Anybody ever play Monopoly? Raise your hand. If you know anything about Monopoly, every player starts out with $1,500. Well, I wanted to play the advocate, the black advocate. So we played Monopoly the other night, and I didn't take any money. I wanted to take the place of the slaves that were emancipated in 1865, who did not get the 40 acres or the mule. And so I took nothing. Now, I survived for a few times around the board, but I couldn't buy nothing. And it was very soon I was out of the game. Now, you would say that that is unfair, to have somebody sit down at a table and play Monopoly and not give them the $1,500 to start with. But that's what this country did with our people when they emancipated us. And then have the audacity, the unmitigated gall to wonder why we don't do better. And you started out with $1,500 and we started out with nothing. Yet look what we have done. Be proud of yourself.
American Negro collectively is richer than most nations of the world. We have an annual income of more than $30 billion a year, which is more than all of the exports of the United States and more than the national budget of Canada. Did you know that? That's power right there if we know how to prove it.
We should own and operate and control the economy of our community. We have to become involved in a program of re-education to educate our people into the importance of knowing that when you spend your dollar out of the community in which you live, the community in which you spend your money becomes richer and richer. The community out of which you take your money becomes poorer and poorer. And because these Negroes who have been misled and misguided are breaking their necks to take their money and spend it with the man. The man is becoming richer and richer, and you're becoming poorer and poorer. And then what happens? The community in which you live becomes a slum. It becomes a ghetto. The conditions become run down. And then you have the audacity to complain about poor housing in a rundown community. Why, you run it down yourself when you take your dollar.
We've got to strengthen black institutions. I call upon you to take your money out of the banks downtown and deposit your money in Tri-State Bank. We are telling you to follow what we are doing. Put your money there. You have 6 or 7 black insurance companies here. Take out your insurance there. Now, these are some practical things that we can do. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. We've got to give ourselves to this struggle until the end. We've got to see it through.
So our people not only have to be re-educated to the importance of supporting black business, but the black man himself has to be made aware of the importance of going into business. And once you and I go into business, we own and operate at least the businesses in our community. What we will be doing is developing a situation wherein we will actually be able to create employment for the people in the community.
The black man must unite in one grand racial hierarchy, making a racial empire upon which the sun shall never set. Be black, buy black, think black, and all else will take care of itself.
I speak with brothers and sisters in the conscious community, and they'll say, well, you know what? I don't think we can get out of this situation. So what the hell are you in it for then? If you don't think it's possible to overcome, why are you in it? So we got to understand that the wisdom is not in knowing. The wisdom is in the doing. We're the smartest group of Africans who probably ever walked the earth since Nile Valley culture. We know more than Malcolm's generation. We know more than Mr. Garvey's generation. We know more than Mr. Muhammad's generation. We know more than the generation of Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass. We're the smartest, but politically the dumbest. For all of our information, what have we accomplished? Where's the supermarkets at? Where's the factories? Where's the distribution networks? Where's the banks at? And the way we get out of this, brothers and sisters, let's be clear. We have to become our own political economic stimulus package. The political economy dictates that if we want to rise up as a people, we got to rise up economically as well. You cannot be solid politically and be weak economically. It's impossible. You got to do both. All politically empowered peoples are economically empowered. Or economically empowered peoples are politically empowered. Why are we not having those conversations? Yes. We still debating the finer points of history. Nothing wrong with that. But we got to get to a point where we're dealing with the here and the now. The revolution is in the here and the now. The change is in the here and the now. It's not yesterday, it's not tomorrow, it's now. So we got to become action-oriented in the present. Very important we do that.
America is born at dead zero. And he has to now compete with a white child who has 87% what he needs to succeed. And I hear people saying, well, the black children, y'all just not doing it right. That's why our white kids are out achieving. No, it's because he got everything he needs. You don't have anything. That's why he's out achieving you. That's why you go drive around this city, any other city, and look at all the big skyscrapers, the big tall buildings. You go across America, and if you find 5 blacks in the United States that own a building with more than 3 stories, you're lucky. You don't own and control anything. Where are your airplanes and ships and boats? Where are your industries? You don't manufacture anything. All you're doing is consuming. We are 100% consumers and 0 producers in the most capitalistic society on earth. And we have failed to understand because of our marketing people have not told us the truth. Our promoters have not told us the truth, that in a capitalistic society, there is no such thing as consumer power. Consumer power does not exist. You cannot have consumer power in a capitalist society. The only person that has the power is he who's producing has the power. You have producing power. You don't have any consumer power. Consumerism is a weakness. Consumerism comes from the word to consume. Consume means to be eaten up, to be eradicated, to be eliminated, to be erased. And prior to the 1950s in this country, when a black person got tuberculosis, you said he had consumption, which means he's being eaten alive by the disease. And here we are bragging about our consumer power. Go look at all the black magazines bragging about black consumer power. We don't have any consumer power. That's a weakness. We should be talking, that's like going into a black neighborhood and having a crack addict bragging about how much crack he consumes. that he's got crack power. It's the addict that's selling him the crack that's got the power. I mean, the drug dealer. It's the drug dealer who's producing the drugs and selling it to him. He's the one that has the power. But we never seem to get it right. And so we live in a society where we don't understand what the game we're playing in, and we're losing. We don't understand the game because we haven't been taught the game. We don't even understand something simple like racism. I keep telling black folk what racism is. I go around the world and I ask blacks in various countries. I say, two people stand up any place in the room. I'll give you $1,000 if you can tell me what racism is. I've never ever had one that knew what racism was. Never had one. I said, what is racism? He said, well, it's bigotry. It's hatred. It's not getting along with people. It's bias. It's discrimination. All that wrong. On
page 39 of the same book, Mr. Kaibo makes a blockbuster statement. Watch this now, he sums up in one sentence the cause of all of our racial problems. Now you better be sure you got your seatbelt on. Ooh, boy. I don't know.
Well, we're moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. We're moving on up to the east side. We finally got a piece of the pie. Fish don't fry in the kitchen, beans don't burn on the grill. Took a whole lot of trying just to get up